Thank you so much for joining me today. So we are going to be looking at percentage of quantities. Now, a percentage. I just want to draw your attention to that word. When we're talking about percentage, we are always talking about out of 100, because if you get perfect marks in the test, it will be out of 100. So understanding percentages of a quantity is exactly the same as thinking about a fraction of a quantity, which we have already done. So let's go over this. Here we are got some magnets, and I've got 12 magnets, but I'm going to say each of those is $1. So I've got $12. If I'm going to say 50% of $12. 50%. If I convert that, if I write that as a fraction, that is 50 over 100, which is a half. A half of 12 is 6. 50% of $12 is $6. We can double check that. Think about how we wrote our fractions of a quantity. Exactly the same as writing a percentage of a quantity. I'm writing it as a fraction. I am then timesing by the amount, which is $12, but it's 12 over 1. I don't like this fraction. It's too big for me. This is the process I'm going over now. It's too big, I need to simplify. 50 over 100 is exactly the same as 1 over 2. Because how many 50s in 50? 1. How many 50s in 100? 2. So now, my question says 1 over 2 times 12 over 1. I can solve that as it is. 1 times 12 equals 12. 1 times 2 equals 2, because I times the numerators and then I multiply the denominators. And then I can simplify it. 12 divided by 2 equals 6, or in this case we're talking about $6. So doing a percentage of a quantity is exactly the same as what we have been doing. I'm going to put a question up on the board, and I would like you to have a go at solving it for me. Pause the video, have a go, and then we will do it together. Three, 30% of $15. Have a go, and then I will go through it with you. Okay, you should have had plenty of time to have gone through this question already. So 30% percentage, yes, it is going to be out of 100. Awesome. So that means I can write it as 30 divided by 100 times, remember 15 is the same as me writing it as 15 over 1. The next step, I've got a big fraction here. I would like to simplify it as best as possible. So, how many 10s in 30? 3. So that means I can just take the 0 off. How many 10s in 10? 10. I'll take the 0 off. I can solve it like this, or I can simplify. And we'll be talking a lot about this. So this is cross simplification. So I'm going to do it as cross simplification, and then I'm going to go over it as how it is. So I can simplify because between 15 and 10, remember if we times and we divide, doesn't matter what order. So I'm going to divide both of these by 5, because 5 is the highest common multiple for both of them. How many 5s in 10? 2. How many 5s in 15? 3. Now I can solve. 3 times 3 equals 9. 1 times 2 equals 2. I can simplify that. 9 divided by 2, 2, 4, 6, 8. And a half left over, which is 4.5. So $4.50. Let's double check here. 3 times 15, 15, 30, 45. Ten times 1, because we times numerators, we're times in the denominators. 10 times 1 equals 10. Now, when we're dividing by 10, our number is going to get 10 times smaller. When it gets 10 times smaller, we're moving the decimal place one spot over to the left. So 45, I've got a decimal place here, I'm moving it over one spot, and it becomes 4.5 or $4.50. Wow, we got the same answer. Thank you so much for joining me today on learning percentage of quantities. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a message.